The Forgotten Prayer. A story of childlike faith, God's timing, and unseen miracles. Lily was just 7 years old when she prayed that prayer. It was short, simple, not rehearsed or poetic, just the honest whisper of a little girl kneeling beside her bed. "Dear Jesus, please help my daddy believe in you. I want him to be happy again." "Amen." She whispered it quietly. No one heard it, not her mother, not her pastor, not even her journal. But heaven did. Back then, her world was smaller. Bedtime routines, school projects, storybooks, and Saturday pancakes. But she saw things that many kids overlooked, like the way her father, Mark, used to laugh less and less, how he didn't sing in church anymore, how he stayed behind while she and Mom went on Sundays. He used to tuck her in at night and say, "God's watching over you." But now he just said, "Sleep tight, kiddo," and turned off the light. She asked him once, "Daddy, do you still believe in Jesus?" He didn't look up from his newspaper. "I don't know, sweetheart. Grown-ups get complicated sometimes." She didn't understand, but she saw the sadness in his eyes, so she did the only thing she could think of. She prayed. One night, then another, then another. She prayed the same words for weeks, until she stopped, not because she stopped believing, but because she forgot. Life moved forward. Lily grew up. Her mom passed away when she was 15 after a long fight with cancer. That changed everything. She moved in with an aunt, graduated high school, went to college in another state. Mark, her father, drifted even further into himself. He didn't come to the funeral, didn't call her on birthdays, didn't return her texts, except for a short "thanks" once in a while. She stopped reaching out. Years passed. Lily became a nurse. She worked in pediatric care. Something about caring for little hearts gave her comfort. In her quiet moments, she still believed in God, still prayed, but not like before. And certainly not for her father. That part of her heart had been sealed away, like an old journal packed in a childhood box somewhere, gathering dust, until it was a cold Wednesday in November when she got the call. "Lily, this is Grace. I'm the social worker at Shady Pines Rehabilitation Center. We have your father here. He's asking for you." She blinked. "My father?" "Yes. Mark Daniels. He checked himself in. He listed you as next of kin." Her voice was dry. "I haven't heard from him in over a decade." "Well," the woman said gently, "he asked for you by name. Said he wanted to talk. Something about Jesus?" That word stopped her breath. "Did he say Jesus?" "Yes. He asked if we had a chaplain. And he asked if you still believed in him." Lily visited the next day. Her heart was pounding the entire drive. She rehearsed lines in her head. "Why now? You didn't even come to Mom's funeral. You left me when I needed you most." But when she walked into that modest room and saw her father, thinner, older, tears in his eyes holding a worn-out Bible, all she said was, "Hi, Dad." He looked up, smiled weakly, and whispered, "You're here." She nodded. "You called for me?" He held up the Bible. "I found this in a shelter. Someone left it behind." She sat down slowly. "And?" "I couldn't sleep, so I started reading, just flipping through it." "And?" she asked again, this time softer. Mark looked at her with eyes full of emotion. "I remembered something." A long pause. "You used to pray for me, didn't you?" She blinked. Her throat tightened. How do you know?" He touched his heart. "One night I was reading Romans, and a memory hit me. I was standing outside your bedroom door when you were little. I heard you pray for me. You didn't know I was there." Lily's eyes filled with tears. "I forgot I ever prayed that. But God didn't," he whispered. Silence fell in the room like a holy hush. Mark shared how he'd hit rock bottom, lost jobs, friendships, and health. But the Bible in that shelter, it opened a door. He didn't fully understand all the verses, but he felt something shift inside. Peace, warmth, conviction, and most of all, memory. I remembered you, Lily, and your little voice asking God to help me believe." They talked for hours. She told him about Mom's funeral, about her nursing career, about the years of hurt, the years of silence. He wept, apologized, didn't defend himself. "I don't deserve your forgiveness," he said. "Neither do I deserve God's," she replied, but he gave it anyway. That day became the start of something new, not easy, but redemptive. Mark continued rehab. Lily visited every week. They read the Bible together, psalm by psalm, chapter by chapter. One day, Mark looked at her and said, "You know, I think your prayer saved my life. Not right away, but in time." She smiled. "It was forgotten by me, Dad, not by him." A year later, Mark stood in a small church with Lily and her husband beside him. He was baptized in front of a small gathering. Tears streamed down his face as he rose from the water. The pastor said, "This is the fruit of a little girl's prayer, a prayer whispered long ago and answered in God's perfect time." Maybe you've prayed a prayer that's gone unanswered. Maybe you've whispered words in the dark that feel forgotten. Maybe you've believed for someone who seems too far gone. But hear this, no prayer is ever wasted, no heart is ever too far, and no moment of childlike faith goes unnoticed in heaven. God collects every tear, every whisper, every quiet amen. And when the time is right, He moves. Sometimes years later, sometimes in ways we least expect, but always in love, always with purpose. So keep praying, keep believing, even if you forget, God never does. You just heard The Forgotten Prayer on the Inspirational Story Room. Let it remind you that God hears every cry of the heart, even those spoken years ago. Share this story with someone waiting on their own miracle.